as always, within those first few seconds, everything clicked back into place, and something inside Jenny said, duh, they were twins after all. Laughter bubbled up, and she hugged her sister hard. You sound surprised. Did you think I was going to bail on you? No, never. But seeing you makes it feel like this is really happening. I'm here, and it is. Jenny held Krista away. But are you sure this is what you want to do with your time off? You're long overdue for a real vacation. You know, the kind with fruity drinks, pool boys, and sand? Trust me, this is a real vacation. 6 weeks of classes? Are you nuts? Krista grinned. 4 weeks of classes in a big city, plus 2 more interning at one of the biggest dude ranches in California, which I'm guessing has fruity drinks and pool boys, and hopefully some tips on how to improve our services here. Maybe not to you, but it sure sounds like paradise to me. At least take an extra week for yourself on a beach somewhere. I've got the time before we start shooting the new season of Jungle Love. Barely, but she would make it work. I couldn't ask you to do that when you've already rearranged your life to ride herd on this place while I'm gone. Krista hugged her again, tight enough to strangle. I can't believe you're really here. When did you get in? I was heading out to pick you up in an hour. As a belated exclamation and some chair scrapes came from the dining room, Jenny said, I caught an earlier flight and found a taxi driver who was willing to make the trip. That must have cost a fortune. Krista socked her in the arm. You should have called me. Their father appeared in the archway leading to the dining room, saving Jenny from trying to explain a reluctance she wasn't even sure she understood. Heading toward him with Krista in tow, she stretched out her free hand. Dad! His hug was big and burly and carried a fresh sawdust undertone that said he'd put in some early hours in his shop. But despite that familiar smell and the fact that Jenny had known her parents were back at the ranch, there was a moment of disconnect. Easing back, she grinned. Hey, big guy, I see you're back to rocking the lumberjack look. The last time she had visited her parents, a stopover at an RV campsite on Cape Cod, he'd been sporting loud prints, boat shoes, and a big hat, and looking as relaxed as she'd seen him in years. Now he was wearing a plaid flannel shirt, jeans, and a pair of thick wool socks that could have been holdovers from her childhood. When in Wyoming, he intoned, but then shot her a wink that said, it's all good. Where's Mom? She left last night, headed for an estate auction on the other side of Laramie, with some stopovers at a few antiques places along the way. She'll be gone a few days, but set to tell you hi and that she's sorry she missed your first day back. Just not sorry enough to change her plans. An estate sale? Antique stores? When did Mom go American Pickers? Last she knew, her mother had been into French cuisine and the Food Channel. The write-up on the auction said they're selling some nice Depression-era glass, her father said in a good-natured non-answer. Speaking of rocking the lumberjack look, Krista gave Jenny a sweats-on-sweats outfit a pointed up and down. What are you wearing? Everything? Shut up, it's freezing in here. Pansy, I was just getting ready to open a window and let out some of that cooking heat. Krista looked perfectly comfortable in yoga pants, a tank top, and flip-flops. Beneath her fuzzy hat, Jenny scowled. Try it, and I'll toss you in a snowbank. No, you won't. That'd mean going outside, and there's no way you're setting foot beyond the front door without more clothes. Krista's grin took on an edge. Like, you know, one of those survival suits they use in the Bering Sea? Ha, you willing to bet on that? Time out. Their father made a T sign with his hands. Breakfast first, then snow fights. Aw, Jenny and Krista said together, harmonizing, and then laughed and hugged again as the three of them trooped into the main room, with its exposed beams and tasteful, if you were into that sort of thing, taxidermy. It didn't look exactly the same as it had when they were kids, but it wasn't all that different either. The couches and chairs were new and overstuffed. The carved wood mantel over the fireplace held landscapes rather than family photos, and just inside the door was a polished wooden counter/computer stand that served as the registration desk and hub of guest services. The comfortable jumble was gone, the afghans folded, the pillows plumped, and the corners neatly swept, but the hominess was there, and not just in the welcome smell of coffee and muffins. There was still a dog bed near the fire. It had been a while since their last house pup passed on, but a few of the wranglers had working dogs that occasionally snuck in for a nap, and the 12-person dining table still took up the back.